Welcome to Sporting News Audio. My name is David Arnott. I'm sitting here with Tom Gatto, Sporting News senior editor. We're going to be talking a little bit of baseball and especially some pitchers that have been making maybe surprise performances this year, but all of them have something in common, and that's that they found a new home. The first pitcher that we're going to be talking about, Chicago White Sox, I guess nominal ace now, Jake Peavy.
And Jake Peavy, as mentioned, David, in a new home. Actually came over last year late in the season in a trade with the San Diego Padres. Is really the number one starter now in Chicago and leading a rotation that was supposed to be the strength of that ball club with Mark Burley, with Gavin Floyd, with John Danks, and even Freddie Garcia, who pitched well late last season. But it hasn't turned out that way, and Peavy's been one of the main culprits.
Now, do you think that this is something that it's just adjusting to the American League? What do you think it is that's getting to him?
I think part of it is adjusting to the American League, although when he came over in September, he pitched very well when he came back off the disabled list. But the problem is seeing more teams and teams adjusting to Peavy and seeing him throw more often in the American League. There will be a period of adjustment. Part of it also, I think, is a little bit physical. He's had some problems in the past. Don't know if that has cost him velocity on a regular basis, maybe cost him a little bit in terms of his breaking stuff, and so he's had to adjust there as well. Maybe he's found a little bit here with this most recent start, and we'll see going forward if he can carry that over in the next few weeks and months.
Now, given Peavy's salary, the White Sox have to be afraid, out of their minds afraid that he's going to go the road of a couple other pitchers that have been struggling early this season, and that would be namely Rich Harden and Ben Sheets. They don't have the salary that Peavy has, but they're slightly similar pitchers, and they've been absolutely atrocious thus far.
Well, Sheets especially with the A's, and you could see it early on. He didn't have the sharpness. The fastball wasn't there. He was nibbling a little bit too much for a former ace, really. Wasn't challenging hitters, and the results are shown. His ERA is over 7. It's not getting better, and he's in a division where you have a pretty good balance of pitchers' parks to pitch in. Now, Oakland can be a hitter's park at times. The ball carries at certain times, but at night it's pretty bad, and so there should be an advantage there. Seattle, if he's pitching there, should be a huge advantage. Even Anaheim at times can favor pitchers. But the numbers tell the story, 7-12, and really not showing any sign of improvement. And the A's really, uncharacteristically, made a big investment in Ben Sheets, $10 million this year, with the thought of either having him there for the full season if they could somehow contend, or being able to dangle him at the deadline to pick up more prospects and churn him. So far, it's not looking like a good proposition, and Billy Beane's going to have to be a little bit worried about that.
Now, I made it sound like in my phrasing there that Harden had been atrocious. He hasn't. That was harsh. That was very harsh. But I will say that he hasn't been the Rich Harden that showed those flashes very early on in his career.
The numbers are okay, but as you say, the eye test really is the key, and Harden, who could get up to 100 miles an hour with his fastball. Sometimes doesn't know where it's going, but he certainly could be overpowering at times, and it really hasn't been the case so far this year. And that's another guy that the Rangers really counted on to be the anchor, although with his health history, I don't know if that was a really good idea, but to be the anchor of a young staff and be the power guy, and that really hasn't shown yet, and we'll see. And the Rangers really need to get some better pitching here in this tight AL West race.
It's almost as if, based on that eye test, the way you put it, that if he's going to be successful, he can't be the same pitcher he was before. He's going to have to reinvent himself, and which leads us to some pitchers on the other side of the ledger who have reinvented themselves. Namely, Brad Penny has been really, really surprising. I mean, we're looking at, is it the Dave Duncan effect again we were talking about earlier?
It might be, and it might just be the fact that he's back in the National League. When he went to the Red Sox, he got lit up. When he went to the Giants last year, he was great, and now he's with the Cardinals, and it helps pitching for a first place ball club with pretty good defense and offensive support. But Penny is back to challenging hitters. He doesn't throw as hard as he used to either, but probably with a little bit of Duncan's help. He's been able to spot the ball better and throw strikes and command better, and the results are there. And he's been one of their best pitchers so far.
Last pitcher we're going to touch on, a guy in the American League who has kind of flown under the radar for a few years. Finally, he caught on again this year with the Baltimore Orioles, and it seems like he's getting really good results. Do you think that Kevin Millwood can maintain this 3.15 ERA and keep it going at least at an above average pace the rest of the year?
I think he can. He's a veteran guy. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to prepare. The only question will be if he gets frustrated pitching for a bad team. I don't think that'll be the case. He's a total pro. But I see him doing well, and then, again, being on a short-term deal, being available for a contender later on in the season if the Orioles decide to sell, if they're really out of the race, and they're already out of it now, but if they're in really dire straits late in the season, he could be another guy who's available. No, he's a total pro. I think he's going to be fine. He's going to be an example, a leader on that staff, again, with young pitchers involved, and I see more positives than negatives with Kevin Millwood.
Tom Gatto, Sporting News Senior Editor, thanks for joining us on Sporting News Audio.
Thanks, David.